Good morning, everyone. I'm Karen Canfield from the Town of Scituate Select Board. It is Monday, May 23rd, after our first really good beach day. We are here with a town update. I'm with our town administrator, Jim Bedreau, and I will turn it over to him first for the updates, and then I will come back and give you some of the town meetings and other events that occurred over the weekend. So first to Jim Bedreau.
Well, good morning. Happy Monday to everybody. We'll start with the COVID update. Unfortunately, our COVID update for our Maven data is not complete. We only have Maven data through Wednesday because of a snag in the state system. Maven number through Wednesday was 17. Last week, the number was in the 50s, but our total number of cases reported to the Board of Health in the last week was 93, which is up from 62 of the previous week. Positivity rating over the last 14 days was up to 8.8%, which is up over 2 points from 6.1% of last week. Plymouth County is at 7.98, up from 6.33. And the state's 7-day percentage rating was 9.59, up from last week's 8.68. There are 75 individuals in the ICU. That's up from 64 last week. 25 patients are intubated, up from 22 last week. So the hospitalization numbers of people seriously ill are still relatively low. And those are the numbers that we're going to keep an eye on. Almost every county in Massachusetts is now considered a high risk for COVID. There are recommendations that if you are indoors, that you wear masks. Individual towns are now starting to put mask mandates back in place. I know Brookline has put a mask mandate on for municipal buildings and schools. We will continue to follow the state guidance on that. We are not going alone. So if the state puts on a mask mandate, we will follow suit. But I think people just need to know if they're going to different towns, there may be different rules now. So you might just want to put a mask back in your car in case you find yourself someplace that requires masks and you don't have one. So we're not done with COVID yet. If you haven't gotten your vaccine, please get vaccinated. If you haven't been boosted, get boosted. If you haven't gotten your second booster shot, please get your second booster shot. The water update, the water is still on the plus side, which is good. The reservoir is at plus 1.25 inches, which is down a little from our 2 inches of last week. Excuse me, Tack Factory ponds at plus 1.25, down from 1.75 last week. The average daily demand actually went down slightly to 1.2 million gallons a day, down from 1.366 million gallons of the previous week. Now that the boats are back in the water, we expect that usage to start going up again. This is mostly still being delivered from our wells as opposed to our water treatment plant. But as our use goes up, so does our water treatment plant usage. Manganese is measured at 0.169. At the water treatment plant right now. That is enough to go through the plant and cause brown water, as our plant does not treat for manganese, so we need to be careful on that. And rain over the last 7 days was 0.14 inches at the treatment plant. Selco is in town again this week. They'll be working on Bradford Ave and Lanton Lane doing services. We want to remind people again, with the springtime, people start to do car washes for fundraisers. Car washes need prior approval from the water department before you have a car wash. So please call the water department at 781-545-8735 before your event and make sure you have permission. It's generally given at this time of year because we have sufficient water, but as we get later into the year, those car washes will not be allowed. So just check ahead of time so that everybody's safe and ready to go and has permission. The DPW is still working on the outfall on Oceanside Drive. That should be finishing up shortly. It's at the right at the end of the street where the beach opening is. That outfall was damaged in a storm. We're getting that repaired. The concessions building at Widows Walk, the restaurant is scheduled to open this Thursday, the 26th. It will be known as the Drift Inn, and it is run by the people who own the Hibernian down in Scituate Harbor. We are planning to have a ribbon cutting sometime on Thursday. We're hoping around 6:30 to do a ribbon cutting at the restaurant. But it's good to get that open. I know everybody's excited. Right now, they don't have a website with a menu up, but we will have information on the golf course webpage, widowswalkgolf.com, when it's available. So we're very excited for that. And just a reminder to people, you don't have to play golf to eat there. They'll be doing lunch and dinner out of the gate and then adding breakfast on the weekends as they get up and running. So stay tuned. Keep looking at the golf course website for details of the Drift In. But it's very exciting. I was down there last week. It looks great. And I think people are going to be very excited. I drove by today and the patio furniture was out. It's going to be a nice week to sit on the patio. So let's get that up and running and people get out and enjoy it. What really is a very beautiful facility that The contractor and Ian and the team did a very good job getting up and running. Finally, Mass DOT was scheduled to put the lines on the rotary last night on 3A. I went through this morning. There are no lines. So I'm guessing because of the weather last night, they postponed it. I've not been told when they'll be back, but I would assume they'll be back some night this week. So be prepared to see them down there between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. painting that. They'll get back out there depending upon the availability of their painting contractor. But we do expect them back there this week, get that finished up. The paving job came out great. So now we just want to get it painted and get that finished. And they are still working on the safety study for the 3A corridor between Henry Turner Bailey and the Rotary. So we'll see what comes out of that in terms of suggestions to improve the safety along that corridor, including a request from us for a possible light at Man Lot in 3A. So we'll keep people in abreast of that, but I know they are still working on that safety study, and that's what I have for today.
Great. Thank you so much, Jim. While we're saying thank yous, a huge thank you to Kathy Gardner, our town clerk, and her whole staff, to the poll workers, to the Scituate Police Department, and for our custodial staff at the high school for their work on our town elections. As everyone knows, we had them on Saturday. We had a 20% turnout, which is good for a town election. I'd love to see 100%, but we'll take it. Congrats to all the candidates who prevailed in that election. And thank you to the town for supporting the water treatment plant financing. We have several meetings this week, beginning on Tuesday. Tomorrow night, the select board will be meeting at 6:30. Also at the same time, there will be a public information meeting on the JV baseball field. And at 7 o'clock, Water Resources will be meeting. On Thursday will be a regular planning board meeting at 6:30. And at 7 o'clock, the reuse of Pier 44 committee, known as the Shark Committee, will be meeting. You can find all of the links, the meeting locations, and timed on the town website under calendar at any time. And you can also sign up for alerts to your own email if there's a particular committee you're interested in. This weekend, big weekend in Scituate. We have the Memorial Day events planned on Monday, which will, I believe, begin with the Harbor Master at 8:30 for those lost at sea memorial. And then the parade from Town Hall to the Town Green will kick off around 10:30. And we will be having a wonderful ceremony to honor our veterans on the green. So come on down for that. While you're at the beaches, please pick up after yourself and be safe on the water. This week, yesterday was the launch of the boat safety program from the Coast Guard, and they're available to help you with any questions you have about how to keep safe on the water. So take advantage of that. Finally, I wanted to give a big shout out to the Irish Heritage Trail Committee. The launch of this important economic development tool for the entire South Shore was on yesterday, Sunday. Check out their website and participate in that event. And keep an eye out later this week. A new Visit Scituate video is going to be released to invite visitors from around the country to come to our community and experience all of the joys of living in our community. So lots of economic development activity going on. That's all I have for today. Our superintendent is not joining us. He's been busy with end of year stuff. So that's our update for May 23rd. We will be back next Monday with more town news.